Okay, I had to start over. Okay, we're going back to Derrick again. Guy I've listened to for a while. And really liked his opinion to women. Let's see the video.
On to the other side, personal.
Oh, let's start over.
What's going on, guys? Derrick Jackson here, and today I'm joined by my lovely wife, Danae. And we just wanted to address a couple of things. You know, we understand that some of you may have already heard, maybe not, that this chapter of our marriage is one that was preceded by a marriage that I completely failed. And I would say it just started around August, maybe September of last year. But, you know, a lot has been said already about what was the cause and all that other stuff. Some of it is true, some of it is completely false. But the truth is, and I'm saying it here now, is that Derrick Jackson was involved with other women outside the marriage. So the same way that I preach, you know, men and women in this situation need to face consequences of their actions, deserve to be held accountable. Guess what? Derrick Jackson's no exemption. He's not exempt from that. I'm also not a victim. Nobody made me do this. She didn't make me or push me to do it. The next person didn't make me. No friend influenced me. It don't matter how I was raised and what trauma, whatever. Look, I made decisions. I made a series of decisions that I got to account for. There's no excuse or justification. I've already made that bed and have had to lie in it. And now we're finally getting on to the other side personally in our own healing, in our own marital oneness. And now this is being made public to you guys. So we're bringing that forth to you guys to let you know where we're at with that. But did you want to say anything?
Yes, so I do want to just add that I agree with what you just said. There is no justification for bringing other women into our marriage on any level. When I found out about it, I left. I did not hesitate or waste time to do so. And I stayed gone. No matter how many times he came, I stayed gone and stood firm on, I am not coming back. And I did not come back until I seen a shift and a change in his mentality. So there's nothing out there right now that is information that I don't already know about or haven't known about. And so this is not something that is new. We have moved forward from it. We have gotten counsel for it and continue to do so. He is still continuing to pursue God and continuing to seek guidance and wise counsel from men of God. So today, where I'm at is at peace, and I proudly stand by his side, and I have no hesitation, I have no hurt, no shame about that. We have already turned a new chapter in this story. We are continuing to move forward, and we are just now sharing that with you. I forgave him, and most importantly, God has first forgiven him, and I also forgive the others as well. And with that, we are free and moving forward. So,
And that's the main thing. I personally didn't even know Derek was married. He never really mentioned his wife or anything like that. But ladies, just don't, the things that he have been saying is the truth, because I'm 62. I've wasted so much of my life hanging on to what a man said because of how I felt. I loved him and I wanted it to work when he really didn't. He tell me all kind of lies just to keep me hanging on. Most of my life has been wasted like that. When you see this happening, don't don't just hang in there because of how you feel. Look at how he feels. And if he don't respect you, and he don't, anybody, whether man, woman, child, they are going to make time for what they want. There will be no excuses, period. Now that one thing I can tell you for sure. you know uh yeah, don't let them just keep stringing you on, man or woman. It's wrong. They just want you hanging on. They really don't want you, but really they don't want no one else with you either. But they're still living their life as though they're single, and all that. Just look through all of that and don't hang on. Don't hang on. You know that saying, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. When they keep telling you this stuff over and over again and their behavior never change, they have no, it's not going to change. I don't care what they promise. You cut your ties. I said I probably missed out on my husband waiting on some other guy that really didn't want me like I wanted him. Don't discard the truth regardless of whose mouth it's coming out of. Just don't discard that.
God has first forgiven him, and I also forgive the others as well. And with that, we are free and moving forward. So absolutely, that's all I have.
If you get nothing else from what I've ever said over the last 9 years or right here in this video, please get this. Nothing is right until it is right with God. Nothing works until it comes into alignment with biblical standard of how God told us to do things, especially when we're talking about a marital, spiritual covenant. Yes. You know, you cannot do this by your own understanding, your own intelligence, your own willpower, your own values. You have to have the grace of God to break free from certain things, to stay away from certain things, to not operate from your lowest self, whatever it may be. So, when I looked in the comments of this video, I don't know if old boy was trolling or not, but he said, D, I think I want to see a reaction to this video. So let's do it. And by the way, I'm going to speak in third person. A lot of you already seen this, but...
yeah, that's probably not a good idea. But I guess that's how you do your videos, but that just, yeah, that's kind of creepy a little, but okay, we'll go with it.
This is Derrick Jackson. A lot of people think of him as a relationship expert and guru and all of that. Well, he and his wife are making this video because apparently at some point in their marriage, or maybe even beforehand in the relationship, he didn't take his own advice and he stepped out and he got involved with other women, as you heard them say. Now, upon first impression, nothing really stuck out to me about him, but more so about the wife. Like, I heard her say that she stands with her husband, she's proud to love him. I heard her say that, you know, this is some time ago, they've already processed this, overcame this, dealt with this a long time ago, and nothing's really new to her. But just by her body language, I was really wondering, like, did he force her to do this video? Like, she looks super uncomfortable, like she doesn't want to be there. But then I watched their live chat that they did right afterwards, and, you know, I kind of caught that this is just a part of her personality, so that kind of explains somewhat of her demeanor. You know, she clearly has a mind of her own, if you saw the live chat too, and she said that the live chat even was her idea. So with that, cool. She wants to stand by her husband. She feels like he's worth it. She has that right. Now, as far as what he said, I understand and I completely applaud him taking accountability, because too many times we see dudes and they got this sob story about how they was raised and, you know, they broke at home and the goldfish died and they never seen a marriage and all that. He didn't do that. He just took accountability. But I hope he understands that all the accountability in the world is not going to rebuild broken trust. Not on a personal level, and even with the public that he's addressing. Like, even his most loyal supporters at this point will probably have a raised eyebrow from this point forward whenever he wants to condemn another man for something like this, and rightfully so. So hopefully he understands that. And I also thought it was very intriguing how he brought in God at the end. You know, I don't really hear him speak like that. So, you know, do it God's way or else it's going to fail. Now, if I saw that a couple of years ago, I honestly would have called BS. I honestly would have been like, nah, dude, like, you can't use God as a scapegoat. You know, as if you not having Jesus is why you did what you did. Like, if Jesus was there with you when you was with those other women, Jesus would have zipped up your zipper for you. That's not how it worked. Like, who are you kidding? But now I have a relationship with God for myself, so I hear things a little bit differently. And what I heard whenever he said that was that, you know, when you go into a godly commitment, which marriage is supposed to be, you can't lean on your own understanding. You can't do it by yourself. You can't do it by your own willpower, your own good intentions and vows and love for a person. If you go into a godly commitment, you have to lean on God. You have to do things like to God's standard. You have to rely on God's grace. That's the only way you're going to be able to do it for the long term. And that I can personally relate to. Now, regardless, whether you like them, love them, or hate them, I think this is a great example as to why we don't need to be putting anybody on the pedestal. Nobody.
And that's one thing I agree with right there. Derrick always come out with this good advice, you know, for women basically to peep game when it's being played on them. But what he said was the truth, but The only thing is, I never thought he would be the one, that he would. I would have never thought he was the one he was talking about. He never mentioned, or it at least have mentioned the fact that he was even married. I didn't even know he was married. Oh my gosh. This is I didn't even know he was married, but just even mentioned that he stepped away, even though it really ain't our business. But it would have been good to hear people would have put more faith in him instead of trying to come out giving advice like he is different. Now, he never said he was different. This is what was just we put in our mind. He's a human being. We put too many people on pedestals, whether it be sports stars, actors, actresses. They're humans. He never said he didn't do any of those things, but we in our mind, because he speaks so lowly of the people that do that we just assumed he didn't. He never said he didn't do these things, so it was in our mind that we had that he's this upstanding guy. And I myself even thought, wow, his wife is lucky, because I would assume, but even though in my own mind I put him higher up, we can't do that. We got to stop doing that, because they're human. They're human. But I just never thought, it would be. I never thought he would do that, but that's my opinion, and I was wrong. So, and the stuff he said still was true. I don't disagree with what he said, but now that you see his truth, now I'm going to tell you, I love Denzel Washington. He can do no wrong in my eyes. Period. That man is just the epitome of a man, that perfect guy. But I'm sure Denzel got some faults I don't know nothing about that would just wreck my opinion of him. His wife knows, his ins and outs and what he does. There are things she's dealing with probably we don't know nothing about. He got, I'm sure he got an ugly side. But let's go on and see what else he says.
And I think a lot of women did that. And I'm not even going to say it's the women's fault by themselves, because...
No, it's not the women's fault, because when you're on here saying what the next guy is wrong for doing and you're doing also, yeah, it's really not on us. Well, it kind of is, because we just put you out there because since you were saying that, we thought that you were above that. And that was where you were in our minds. But I guess you're just human like everybody else.
Because this dude, he never really showed his struggle. We understand, we're all humans and we all make mistakes, but he never showed those mistakes, not for real. I think he wrote about it or something like that. But he never showed that side, so it's not really all on the women. But I've seen a lot of women put this dude on the pedestal to the point of idealizing him and even comparing their man to him.
Now, I don't think I would compare my man to him, but you would. We did idealize you because of how you spoke. We felt that you were above these guys you were trashing. So when it comes to the fact, and that's on us too, because like I said, you're human and you're not perfect. So that was partly on us. That was both of us, because the way you talk, you never even hinted the fact that, or even mentioned that, or even said, well, I've succumbed to, the temptations too. But actually, that's between you and your wife. And if she forgives you, that's all that matters. What we think really don't matter. But the fact about it is the stuff you said was true. So truth is the truth no matter whose mouth it comes out of. And ladies, I'm telling you, do not, look for them signs he was talking about. Look for them signs and you heed to them signs so you don't waste your life like I did. My life has been wasted waiting on a man that I loved that didn't really love me. Look at them signs. Look for them signs because what he's saying was true. I lived it. I know. Now, for what he did, that's between he and his wife. But what he said was the truth because I lived a lot of it. And you're going to just waste your life waiting on somebody you want that don't want you. Look for the signs. Them signs he tell you about, they're there. And I looked back and I saw them signs, later, because he came years after my relationship. So, but what he's saying is the truth.
Like they'll compare their man's good, bad, and ugly whole story to Derrick Jackson's snippet. Which is of course a standard nobody can meet consistently. That's like a dude taking a picture of another woman who's in shape and she got a 4-pack and she just beautiful and all of that stuff and her body's just super tight, and him comparing his woman to that woman because his woman got a couple extra pounds from having a baby. Meanwhile, he don't know that woman in the picture may not even be able to have children. She may be struggling with that and coping with it by working out 2-3 times a day. She may have an unhealthy body image, and that's why she works out obsessively and consistently and looks so good. Like, you don't know. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think it's healthy. I don't think it's wise to ever idealize somebody or compare them. Like, not only because somebody can be living a double life, which I don't think is quite the case here, according to his wife, behind the scenes, without anybody knowing. Of course, this part ain't gonna blow up. But he's been putting in the work to kind of reconstruct where that all had been broken since last year. So I don't think it's a double life thing, but you don't know what struggle somebody has behind the scenes. You don't know their shortcomings. You don't know where they're falling short.
As far as a double life, if you hid it from her, it kind of was a double life. As far as we go, I mean, it really don't matter about us because we are not your relationship. That's between you and your wife. Just like when Clinton was with that woman. The basic thing is, if his wife forgives him, what that got to do with me? That's between them. If his wife forgives him, that's all that matters. It don't matter what I think, what Paul think. That's between them two. If they're okay now, then we should be okay. The fact that you said the things you said, and we put you on a pedestal as being above all of these things that you were talking about. It was on us too, but you too. You kind of, without saying it, kind of put yourself out that you were above that. And that's what we just automatically thought. But it nonetheless doesn't make what you said not true. So that's my opinion on this, is that I'm not going to invalidate what you have said just because of this. Because if it's true, it's true. It don't matter whose mouth. The truth coming out of anybody's mouth is the truth. That's just what it is. And being that I've lived through a lot of it, and a lot of the things I know for a fact you're saying was the truth. If your wife forgives you, and that's between y'all. If she forgives you, and I mean really forgives you, that's the battle y'all. That's the battle you two guys are dealing with. You deal with that. That's between you, her, and God. That's it. Our opinion is just that, our opinion. And that's all it is.
So it's just not wise to compare, on any level. Nonetheless, I know some people will see this type of video, even though he's come forward and he's been completely honest. Some people are just going to close the book on D. Some people are going to close the book on this dude and say, you know what? I'm done with you. Cancel culture, come here. I'm more so on the side of his wife. and just basically letting this be a new chapter of how I see him, because I do believe that his content over the years has helped a tremendous amount of people. You know, he tells the truth, he speaks facts, and quite honestly, I'm gonna be real with y'all, I've needed several new chapters in my own life, Lord knows, and I'm not ashamed to say it, but I'm no guru. Those are just my thoughts. Y'all let me know what you think down in the comments. And by the way, he has a book detailing how he and his wife overcame all of this in their private lives a long time ago, matter of fact. It's called Heal Together Without Hurting Each Other. So if you're in a situation like this, you want to let God in to totally restore it better than new, click the link down in the bio or up in the bio in the caption. I got a 50% off deal for you guys who are watching this video right now. But yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments. I'll let y'all later. Y'all be good. Peace.
Okay, so yeah. It was a shock to me. It was a shock to me. It was a shock to me what he did, but I had him at a higher level than the guys he talked about. And we mostly all did, but I still know for a fact a lot of the stuff he's saying is true. So I'm not going to discount what he's saying because of what he did. Because I know that a lot of it is true. Some of it I didn't agree with, but most of it I did because I lived it myself. Ladies, don't fall for all the bull crap. A man telling you he ain't got time, because he's going to make time for what's important to him. And that's just a fact. That's a fact. That's a fact. So don't discount what he said. Don't do that, because you're going to wind up wasting your life. You might be disappointed in what he did, but that thing there is between he and his wife. You know, wherever he got this information or this truth from, whether it's from seeing it or living it, what he's saying is true. Now, it's up to his wife what she wants to do. That's up to them. You know, if she wants to step away and just call it quits, he should have no problem with that, because of what he did to her and their children. And somebody said he had kids. I didn't know he had kids. But the point about it is, yeah, he's got to be held accountable just like everybody else. But the main thing is it's between him and his wife. I ain't got nothing to do with it. I don't got nothing to do with it. That's between them. And that's just my opinion.